everyone just
Good morning, Anne. Good morning, Susan. There. Now I'm going to mute. Okay, there I go.
okay.
Morning, y'all. All right, this is the start of the fourth and last one of our review sessions for the first part of our beginning bridge class. So far, we've covered all the basic bidding, valuing your hand, learning which bid to start with, major suit openings, minor suit openings, how to respond to those. And then we saved the best for last, no trump. That's what we covered this past week, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Last week in class, we talked about, because we played some hands, we didn't cover everything in the no trump discussion, but I'm going to cover it all in today's class, in today's Zoom session, because we're not going to have another one for beginning bridge. So this will give you everything you need to know on no trump bidding, and we will cover the rest of it in class tomorrow. So let's look at where we've been and where we're headed. Okay. There used to be a thing that let me increase the size of this. I don't know where that went. Anyway, drat. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, well, this is better and handier down here, but it's new. It's down at the bottom right instead of at the top where it used to be. You don't care. But anyway, here we are. We're at our Bridge Basics handout. I think some of you have one called Putting It All Together. It's the same basic information. And we talked about the fact that the opener has a choice. If you have between 13 and 21 points, that's a regular opening bid. You want to bid something at the one level, a club, a diamond, a heart, a spade, or a no trump. We said you've got three priorities for choosing which of those you're going to do. The first priority is no trump. And no trump is 15 to 17 and a balanced hand. If you can't do that, then you do a major suit, which promises 5 in the suit. If you don't have that, then you do the minor suit. So we've said all along that our first priority for bidding was one no trump, but we didn't discuss it with the rest of the bidding, because if you open one no trump, you're saying a very specific thing, that you have a hand that's described not in the wide description of 13 to 21 points, but in a small, narrow definition of 15 to 17 points and a balanced hand. Because that's so specific, all of the usual responses that we give to major and minor suit openings, all of these things that we've discussed down here, do not apply in no trump. You'll notice in these situations, we are trying to communicate back and forth with partner and come up with our range so we can give it to our partner. So then our partner can then start thinking about his range, minimum, medium, maximum, etc. We go back and forth. So we try to find the range of how high and where. If you have started out with a bid of one no trump, the how high and where question for one person anyway, it's pretty much answered because you have described one hand. So now it is to the partner to decide how to bid. This is why we didn't use the no trump section out of Audrey Grant's book. Chapter 2 in Audrey Grant's book, first thing she covers is no trump, which makes sense because that's our preferred bid if we can do it. But the responses she gives are not the responses that you will find definitely if you play at the Bridge Center. And even if you're playing at home with friends and families or in a social game, nobody uses those just very generic, basic responses that Audrey Grant has in her book. Nearly everybody uses the system that we're going to talk about. So let's go over and talk about no Trump itself. I think it's funny that um, Zoom keeps updating everything for the best. And as a result, I, who only use it, once or twice a week, keep having to find where everything is that I'm looking for. Sorry, guys. Excuse me just a second here.
What are you looking for?
Oh, I'm trying to get over to the Stayman and No Trump handout, which is I can get on my screen. I can't get it on your screen. Okay, now can you see that? Our handout on Stayman and transfers over No Trump?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All righty. So let's talk about No Trump specifically now. And the Stayman and transfers over No Trump are the responses to No Trump. So let's talk first about the just No Trump in general, how it works, what it is. So in order to open one No Trump, you're promising 15 to 17 points and a balanced hand. A balanced hand is defined as no more than one doubleton. So no singletons, which is one in a suit, no voids, which is nothing in the suit, and no more than one doubleton, two in a suit. Every other suit has more than two cards in it. One suit can have two cards. So we talked about how you can divide these up. Are you guys seeing a screen now that has a bunch of X's across the top?
Seeing a what?
I
Something.
don't see the X's, Sally.
Okay, it's
No.
not our handout. Okay, all right. I'm sorry, y'all. This is usually so easy. They've made it so much more difficult.
They have updated the
Yes,
app.
yes, they have. I'm trying to get to a Word document. Oh, here we go. Here we go. All right. Now, do you see one that has X's across the top?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So these are our 13 that we're going to pretend that this is a hand of 13 cards that has been dealt out to us. Okay. So 13 cards here. So we want to talk about how we can divide these 13 cards that we can see here, these X's. We don't know what they are, but we've got 13 cards. How can we divide them so that they are the most evenly distributed? Well, if we had 4, 3, okay, 4, 3, 3, 3, do you see that that would be very balanced? We've got 13 cards. We've got 4 in one suit and 3 in the other 3 suits. Doesn't matter what the suits are. So 4, 3, 3, 3. That meets our definition of no more than one doubleton. Okay. Now we could make it a little bit different, we could have 2 4-card suits. Now we've got 2 4-card suits, a 2-card suit, and a 3-card suit. That still meets our definition of balanced hand because we only have 1 doubleton here. Finally, we could have 5 in a suit, 3, 2, 3, 5, 3, 3, 2 is the other balanced hand. 5 in 1 suit, 3, 3 in 2 suits, and 1 doubleton.
Sally,
Yes.
so on that 5332
Mhm.
or 323, when you're counting your high card points, can you count 1 extra point for the length in that 5-card suit?
Yes, you can. It's only ever going to be 1 point because you can only have 1 5-card suit, so that would only ever give you 1 distribution point. So it doesn't make a big impact. You can count it or not. Whatever's the easiest way for you to think about it. The way I like to think about it is I count it, but I don't count it to put me into the no trump range. So if I just have 14 high card points, I don't use the 5th one to say that I have the 5th of 1 suit to say that I have 15 points. So I have to have, to me, I have to have 15 high card points to have me bid 1 no trump. But then I will use, if I have a 5-card suit, the extra length to tell me if I'm at a minimum or a maximum no trump hand, which we'll talk about in a few minutes.
Okay, thank you.
So that's not, that's muddies the water, but anyway, so basically don't count it to put you into the 15 to 17 point range. Are we back to our no trump handout now?
Yes. Stayman and transfers.
Yes. Okay, so we've talked about then the no trump opening bid. And really the no trump opening bid is pretty easy. And that's just what it is. You're 15 to 17 points. You've got a balanced hand, no more than 1 doubleton. And I'll tell you that actually some people even, fudge that a little bit, and they'll do it with 2 doubletons, rare occasions, 4, 3 4-card suits, and 1 singleton, although that's unusual. For your purposes, for right now, I would follow this rule. No more than 1 doubleton. That's the general rule of a balanced hand. So that's what you should be looking for. For those of you that have played before, because I know a lot of people come into the class that played years ago, no trump used to be 16 to 18 points instead of 15 to 17 points. You also had to have a stopper, that is a high card in every suit, so that the opponents couldn't run a suit against you. And you were not allowed to have a 5-card major suit and make the bid. All of those prior rules that we used to have are gone today. Today, the range is 15 to 17. The reason for that, it comes up more often. So you're able to use no trump more. That's one of the reasons why we slid it down a point. We also no longer require a stopper in every suit, because the idea is, first of all, we want to bid no trump more often, and we can't do it if that's a requirement. But the second thing is that if our partner has points, the likelihood is that they have some points in that suit. They may not, but the likelihood is. And even if they don't have points in the suit, if they have length in the suit, we're okay. They can't run a suit. if they don't have length in it either. So occasionally following these rules, you'll get into no trump and find out that you have 2 clubs and your partner has 2 clubs. They've got 9 clubs. They're divided 6-3, and they take 6 clubs before you even get to play. So this happens sometimes in no trump. This is why we don't like no trump as an ultimate place to be. We like it as the first bid to make because it's very descriptive. But everything else in our responses to the no trump bid is trying to find a major suit for us to play in because that's safer, and that's where we'd like to be. So anyway, the current rule is 15 to 17 points, a balanced hand. Now, once the no trump person has bid, their work is done because they have described their hand. That means that the responder to the no trump person is always in command of the ship because the responder is going to be the one that knows how high and where to play, because the responder knows how many cards the no trump opener has in every suit, basically, and they know what their points equal. So they're going to know immediately how high they belong. And here is how they know how high they belong. If they have 10 or more points in the responder's hand, and the opener has at least 15 points, 15 to 17, 15 and 10 is 25 points. That's a game. It's definitely a game at no trump, and it's pretty much a game at hearts and spades. 26 is better for hearts and spades, but we'll go with 25, okay? So if you have 10 points or more as the responder, you know how high. It's game, either 3 no trump, 4 hearts, or 4 spades. If you have 7 points or less, 7, the highest, plus the highest I could have is the no trump, the 17. 7 and 17 is just 24. That's not a game. So if I'm in this category, the 0 to 7 category, I know that we do not have a game. So generally, I'm just going to pass. If I have a lot of hearts or spades, I may transfer first so my partner will play in that suit, but we're not going any further than that one bid. So if I have 0 to 7, no chance of game. 10 or more, definite game. 8 or 9. 8 or 9 points for the responder is kind of the medium area there. I could have a game, or maybe we don't have a game. I'm not sure. So when we have 8 or 9 points, we need to tell partner by bidding again, but bidding less than game. So for 0 to 7, we generally pass. For 10 or more, we may bid to get partner to bid something, then we will go to game. With 8 or 9, we may make some bids to find out something about partner's hand, and then we will make a bid below game. So partner will go on. If we have 8 or 9 and partner has 17, we've got a game. If we have 8 or 9 and partner has 15, we don't have a game. So partner, that's the only decision that the no trump opener gets to make, is if we tell them we have an invitational game as a responder, then they either pass if they're at the low end or go to game if they're at the high end. So that's really the only decision that the no trump person makes. Mostly everything is in the hands of the responder. So then let's talk about the responder and what they need to decide to bid. And I'm going to first talk about Jacobi transfers. There are really 2 types of responses to no trump. The first one is Stayman, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. The second one is the second thing listed on your page, Jacobi transfers. Now, Stayman has been around forever, In the 1960s, when I learned to play with my grandmother played Stayman, and she didn't play anything else that we play today. She didn't play a lot of stuff that they played then, but she did play Stayman. So it's been around forever. It's just recognized as a regular response. Jacobi transfers have not been around quite as long, although they have been around for a long time. They've been around from the 80s probably. And so most people play those, pretty much everybody plays those now. But you may run into some people, if you're playing with friends or family that played in the past, they may not play Jacobi transfers. But everybody that's learned since does play these. And all a Jacobi transfer is it is a bid that we use over no trump openings only that allows the person with the stronger no trump hand to stay as declarer. So what it is, it's a special series of bids that we have agreed we're going to play. And I may know as the responder the how, high, and where. If I've got 6 or 7 hearts, I know my partner has 2 hearts at least. So we've got 8 between us. I know we want to play in hearts. But if I bid hearts, I'm going to be the declarer. And I usually have the smaller hand. The no trump hand is usually the larger hand. Just statistically, it's usually the larger hand. Sometimes my partner will open a no trump, 16 points, and I've got 16 points. But that is unusual. Most likely I've got a smaller hand. So what I want to do is I want my partner, my no trump partner, to be the declarer. He's got the bigger hand, so I want that to be concealed. So what I want to do is make him bid the suit first. That's all that Jacobi no trump is. It's just making partner bid the suit that you want to play in, making him bid it first. And so it's artificial. If you want him to bid hearts, you bid 2 diamonds. He then has to bid hearts. You bid the suit below where you want to be. He has to bid the next suit up. If you bid 2 hearts, he's got to bid 2 spades. So these transfers are accomplished by you bidding the suit below what you want, and he is required to bid the next suit up because we are playing Jacobi transfers. That's how it works. And the reason for that, like I said, is that we want his hand to be the declarer. We want to be the dummy. But we're making all the other decisions about the hand for him. So the only time we do this is if we have 5 cards in the major suit. If we have 5 cards in a major suit, we know we have at least 7 cards between us because he has at least 2 and I have 5, so that's 7. That's more than they have. We'd still prefer it to be 8 or more, but we start with the 5 cards in the major suit because that likely is the 8-card magic fit. Okay, so if we have 5 cards in a major suit, we always transfer our partner. The no trump person must then bid the suit we're transferring him to. And then it comes back to us and we decide the how high part. The where part is now decided pretty much, but the how high part still needs to be decided. Here is how we get to the how high part. If we have less than 8 points, remember that was the 7 or less, that's the where we're sure we don't have a game. We just transfer them and then we pass. So it'll go 1 no trump, 2 diamonds, 2 hearts, pass. Just leave them there. It's going to be better for them to play at 2 hearts where they have at least a 5-2 fit and possibly more, 5-3 more likely. It's better for them to play there than to play at 1 no trump. It's always better to play if you have a major suit fit, better to play there than at no trump. So the first one, you transfer and then you drop if you're less than 7 points. If you have 10 points or more, Then you are going to transfer first. If you have 5 or more cards in the suit. So we transfer, it'll be 1 no trump, 2 hearts, 2 spades. Partner has to bid 2 spades. Now, if I have 6 cards in the suit, and I know he has 2, right? At least we have 8. We have an 8-card fit. So the next thing I'm going to bid is 4 spades. 1 no trump, 2 hearts, 2 spades, 4 spades. That's if I have 10 or more points and 6 or more spades. But if I have 10 or more points and I only have 5 spades, he might just have 2. So in that case, I bid no trump next, a no trump game. So 1 no trump, 2 hearts, 2 spades, 3 no trump. 3 no trump says, partner, I know we've got game. I'm bidding game. The fact that I transferred you first, you know I've got 5 spades, but the fact that I'm bidding no trump next tells you I have 5 spades and only 5 spades, because I'm not sure if you have 2 or more. So if partner has 2 and only 2, he'll just pass 3 no trump. But if he had 3, 4, 5 spades, he'll go ahead and fix it and go to 4 spades. Notice he really hasn't made a decision about the how high, or where. You've pretty much made the decision and given him all the information he needs just to correct it to the right place, if that's what he needs to do. So that's if you don't have game, you transfer and then you just pass. If you do have game, you transfer and then you bid the game, either 3 no trump if you only have 5 when you transferred, or 4 hearts or spades if you had 6 or more when you transferred. The middle section, the 8 or 9 points, this is where you invite. And it seems more confusing, but it's really just doing the same thing, but now 2 ways, okay? If you have 8 or 9 points, you want to have your next bid be below game because you don't know if you have game. You're going to pass if you've got 7 or less, bid game with 10 or more. With 8 or 9 and a long major suit, you will transfer first, and then you will bid below game. Either no trump if you had 5 and only 5, or rebid the suit if you had 6 in the suit. So that would sound something like 1 no trump, 2 diamonds, 2 hearts. He's got to bid that. Then I would say 3 hearts. 3 hearts says I've got 8 or 9. I've gone below game, but it says I've got 6 hearts because I rebid my hearts. If I had 5 points, 5 hearts only, it would have gone 1 no trump, 2 diamonds, 2 hearts that he has to bid. And then I would say 2 no trump, below game. So I've got 8 or 9 points, and 5 and only 5 hearts, not 6. He can go, then he has to put all of that together and go where we belong. If he has 15 points only and I make an invitational bid, he passes. He's just got 15 points and I've got 8 or 9. We do not have a game. If he's got 17 points, he bids the game. Because if I have 8 or 9, he's got 17, we have a game. If he's got 16 points, that's really the only decision that he makes. Because remember, he could have 15, 16, or 17. If he's got 16 points, he has to decide, is that more like 15 points or more like 17 points? He has to decide which way to go based on his hand. And those decisions will start coming easier to you. But basically, it's, do I have like just cards that are sitting out there with no other cards touching? And so they're not very useful. Like I have the queen and 2 small, and two small cards in a suit, or a jack and two small cards in a suit. Those are probably not useful cards. But I have a queen jack in one suit and nothing in another suit. That's better, if you can see that. It's better to have face cards touching each other in a suit. So they're both useful. If you separate them, they're probably not as useful. That's the kind of decision you need to make. Don't worry a lot about it. Bridge is not an exact science. So if you're at 16, just do the best you can to guess which way you need to go. But 15, you know what to do. 17, you know what to do. Okay, let's look at some examples now. Now, can you see the screen with the big X's at the top?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. So let's look at this first hand here. This is your hand, and you've got, let's see, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 points. So that's in the no trump range, right? 15 to 17, no trump range. Is it a no trump style hand? And yes, it is, right? Because we've got 4, 3, 3, 3. That is the ultimate no trump balanced hand. No doubletons, 4, 3, 3, 3. And of course, you know that this, although I've got, usually we do spades, hearts, diamonds, clubs, and that's the order I've gotten them in. That 4 could be any of the suits, could be, have 4 in them, the other have 3. It's not the spades necessarily. It just happens to be that way in this hand. So anyway, with that hand, we would definitely open one no trump. We would even open one no trump if it's a little bit different. If we had 5 spades and the same 17 points, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Same thing. We are going to open this one no trump. Now notice if you add the 1 for length here, you are 18 points. So, I would open this one no trump. There's some argument for opening it one spade because you've got 1 too many to bid one no trump. Just depends on kind of your style. I'd be consistent whichever way I go on it and kind of always do the same thing so your partner will know. Okay, let's make one other change. Let's change this down to a 7. Okay, now we have 16 points, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We've got 16 points now. Well, if our partner makes a bid that asks us to decide whether we've got 15 or 17 points, and I've got 16, would you go up or down here? Would you treat this as 15 or would you treat it as 17?
I think I'd go up just because you've got the ace king together. You got the king queen together.
Yeah, you have
It looks kind of strong to me.
You have 2 good things here, the ace king, the king queen. You also have 1 more card.
True.
That you could count now as 17. So I would definitely go the 17 point way. But this right here, this queen small is bad. And the queen in 2 small is not much better. So, in this hand, I think it weighs more on the side of 17. But if I were not this, didn't have those strong things, I would really look at those unsupported queens as weighing me down. And that I would have a tendency to go towards the 15. I do agree with you in this case. It is strong enough with the ace king and the king queen together and that extra 1 for length. That would definitely count as the upper range of 17 points. Okay, so this hand, whatever this hand is, has bid 1 no trump. Okay, so this is our one no trump hand, one no trump. Now, let's go down here and decide what we're going to respond. So let's look at this hand. We've got 5, 6, 7, 11, 12, 13, 14. Wait a minute. That's 5, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 high card points plus 2 for length, right? Plus 2 for length. So this gives us, are we in the no game, maybe game, or definitely game situation?
Definitely game.
Definitely game. We have a game. And do we know where the game is? Is it in a major suit or is it in no trump?
I don't think you know that.
Okay. I have 6 spades.
Oh, okay. Should be in spades then.
Exactly right. If I have 6 spades, I know it belongs in spades. He's got at least 2. I know he's got 2. Actually, up here, he's got 5. So we've got nearly every spade in the book. But anyway, so my first thing that I'm going to do is transfer him. So it's going to go one no trump, and then I'm going to say what to transfer him.
1 heart.
2 hearts.
2 hearts.
Oh, 2 hearts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm at the 2 level. So yeah.
Okay.
So 2 hearts. Then it's going to come back up here, and he has to say what?
Hmm.
2 spades.
2 spades. He has no choice about what to say. I don't care what he's got in his hand.
Okay.
If he had a doubleton in his hand, he's happy to say 2 spades here. But if he had the doubleton there, he would be required to say 2 spades. It's the only response he can make. He can't make any other response. So it's gone 1 no trump, 2 hearts. He's dutifully said 2 spades. Now, what am I going to bid next?
4 spades.
4 spades. We have said, I know, that I know the how high and the where question. How high is game? Where is spades? So I bid the 4 spades. Okay. Now, let's change this just a little bit and take off one of these, and I'll put it down here. Okay, now I've got 10, 12 points. Do I still know the how high question?
Yes.
We have 13 counting the 5 card suit, right?
Okay,
No,
13.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, all right, counting the extra. So
Yes.
I know the how high, it's game, right? I've got more than 10. It's game. But
Yes.
do I know where?
Still spades.
Well, I can't know that for sure. I have 5, and so it's probably spades. So we said with 5 or more, we'll always transfer. So I'm going to transfer first. It's always the thing to do. If I have 5 or more in a major suit, I always transfer. So I'm going to still bid my 2 hearts. He's still going to bid his 2 spades because he has to. Now what do I bid?
I'd say 3 no trump.
3 no trump. Very good. Because I know we have a game, but I don't know how many spades he has. I've got 5. I told him I had 5 when I bid 2 hearts, right? That I told him I had 5 spades because transferring says I have 5. Well, when I bid 3 no trump next, I say I had 5 and only 5. So now he knows the where, and I've told him the how high. Now, what would he bid over my 3 no trump, do you think?
4 spades.
He would bid 4 spades because he's got 5 spades. This isn't a good example because clearly we've got two kings of spades, which you don't usually have, but the principle is the same. The principle is the same. When he hears three no trump from me and he's got three or more spades, he corrects the spades because he knows with my five and his at least three, that's where we belong. Now, if I had been bidding hearts and he's just got that queen jack of hearts, I transferred him to hearts. I bid two diamonds here. I bid two diamonds here. Disregard my hand for a minute, of course. And he bids two hearts. And then I bid three no trump. Then he is going to do what? If I've got hearts,
Pass.
he passes because he only has the two. So he goes, okay, well, we'll just leave it at no trump then instead of the hearts. Okay, do you see how all this works? It's really, there's two factors here, and that is the how high and the where, the questions that we usually have. Once he has bid no trump, then it's on us as the responders to pick the how high and the where. And we do that based on our points first. 10 or more game is how high, 7 or less passing is how high, and the 8 or 9 I bid below game so that he goes to game if he has 17 and he passes if he has 15. And then the where part of it is if I transfer, I'm promising 5. And if I bid them again, I'm promising 6. If I bid no trump again, I say that was 5 and only 5. So there's just really two things going on here, the how high and the where. But there's a couple of factors in each one that you have to think about. Okay. All right.
Sally,
Yes.
will you just say that last statement again?
It's always on the transfer part of it. It's the two questions are always there, the how high and the where. The how high part depends on, as responder, whether we're at 7 or less, whether we're at 10 or above, or whether we're at 8 or 9. 10 or above, we're going to bid game, the second thing. 7 or below, we're going to pass the second thing. And 8 or 9, we're going to bid below game. Either no trump if we have 5, or the suit if we have 6 or more. So that gives partner both the how high and the where questions. Okay. And all he needs to do is, if I give him the option of the how high, he decides if he has 15 or 17, it's his only decision. And then if I tell him that I have 5 and only 5 of the suit that I transferred him into, then if he has 2 or less, he just leaves it at no trump. But if he's got more, which is usually the case, he goes on, or frequently the case, he goes on to bid the suit, because we always prefer to bid the major suit if we can. Okay, are we good? I know you're all going, oh, I don't know if we're good. But that is how you decide it. It seems like a lot, but there's really just a couple of functions you're looking at. Do you have game or not? And do you have 8 in the major suit or not? And that's just how you decide what your next bid is. It's designed to answer those questions. Okay, I'm going to go back now to our handout where we were talking about no trump. And I want to talk now about Stayman. We're going to cover this more in class tomorrow because we didn't cover it last week. But Stayman is a way to find if you have a major suit fit when you just have 4 in a major suit as the responder. It's always as the responder. Okay, so if you have 5 or more, you always transfer because you know your partner's got at least 2. Worst you're going to be is that you're going to have 7 in a suit. But if you don't have 5 You've got 4. You would still much rather play in the major suit, but you need to find out if partner has 4 in a major suit. And we ask that question by this convention. A convention in bridge just means a not standard response. This is some kind of special thing. It's usually a special bid that either tells partner something or asks partner something. And it does not have the usual meaning. We'll bid something that doesn't have the usual meaning. When we did Jacobi transfers, our 2 diamond response over 1 no trump does not mean diamonds ever. It means hearts. So that's a convention. It means something different than what it appears to mean on the surface. Stayman convention is the same thing. For the Stayman convention, I use it when I have at least 4 cards in a major suit. And I want to know if partner has 4 cards in a major suit. So the way I do that is I bid 2 clubs. And that says, partner, I have a 4-card major suit. Do you have a 4-card major suit? It tells him I have one, and it asks the question. Now, notice it says up here, we only use it with an invitational or better hand. So that means with 8 points or more. With 7 or less, I don't do this Stayman. I do a transfer if I've got 5 or more, because then I'm pretty sure we're okay. But with the Stayman convention, I have to ask a question. He's got to answer the question. And if the question is he doesn't have a 4-card major suit, we've done all this for nothing and we're up too high. So with Stayman, when I only have 4 and I'm having to ask him to answer a question, then I have to have at least the invitational hand, because we're going to have to stop at 2 if he doesn't have a match.
And repeat the number of points again.
It's 8 or 9. It's the invitational hand. It's where I think we might have a game. If it's 0 to 7 and I know we do not have a game, I do not even start this process. I do the transfer. I do the transfer and then I just drop them if I have 5 or more and less than 8 points. But Stayman is different. If I have that 0, if I'm in that 0 to 7 category, I don't do anything. I just pass. So with 8 or 9, you were going to bid 2, with 8 or 9 or 10 or more, you're going to bid 2 clubs to ask if partner has a 4-card major. 2 clubs does not mean anything about clubs at all. It means I have a 4-card major. That's what 2 clubs means. And at least 8 points. So partner needs to answer the question, and the answers are pretty reasonable, understandable. They just go up the line. 2 diamonds over 2 clubs says, no, I do not have a 4-card major. No. 2 hearts says, yes, I have 4 hearts. I also may have 4 spades. So it definitely says I have 4 hearts. May also be 4 spades. 2 spades, on the other hand, says, yes, I definitely have 4 spades. I do not have 4 hearts. Okay, so 2 hearts says hearts, might have spades. 2 spades says spades and no hearts. See, if you've skipped over hearts, you've denied hearts. If you've bid hearts first, you haven't denied spades because we didn't get there yet, if that helps. So 2 hearts says hearts, might be spades also, but it's at least 4 hearts. 2 spades has skipped over hearts and it says no hearts, but 4 spades. I do have 4 spades. So partner is going to do one of these 3 things. He's going to say, no, I don't. He's going to say, yes, I do. I have at least hearts. Or he's going to say, yes, I do. I have spades and no hearts. Once he has done that, now you still are in the driver's seat as the responder, the Stayman bidder. Just like on transfers, you are in the driver's seat. you're in the driver's seat, and Stayman also. So depending on what he said, your next bid is, if he says, no, I don't have a 4-card major suit, then you are either going to bid 2 no trump or 3 no trump. How do you think you decide which you bid?
Depends on if you have 8 or 9 points or 10 plus.
Exactly. If you have 10 or more, you've got the game, so you bid 3 no trump. You go, oh, okay, no 4-card major, no problem. I bid 3 no trump. If he says no 4-card major and you have 8 or 9, then you bid 2 no trump. You go, okay, well, I don't have game. I've got 8 or 9. If you have more, go on. Now, if he has said the correct 4-card major, so he says the 4-card major that you have, you can now revalue your hand as dummy if now he has bid the suit that you're going to wind up in. And then you either say 3 of the major or 4 of the major, depending on if you have 8 or 9 or 10, just like we've been doing. You bid less than game, the invitation, bidding less than game, or you bid the game. Now, if he has said, and if he does the correct one, you're going, oh, good, we have a major suit fit. I'm happy. We're going to play in that major suit fit. So you tell him immediately you have the fit by bidding 3 or 4 of the major. You're going, good, okay, that's our suit. I've got invitational only, or I've got game. If he says the wrong thing, in other words, if you have spades and he says he's got hearts, or if you have hearts and he says he's got spades, then you treat it just like he didn't have a 4-card major and you bid either 2 or 3 no trump. So if he either doesn't have one or he doesn't have the one that you wanted him to have, you just bid 2 or 3 no trump. But if he says the one you've got, then you go on with that to the major suit. Now, the interesting thing about this, and this may be a little hard for you to see until you've played this for a while, if partner bids 2 spades, he has spades and only spades, okay? But if he bids 2 hearts, he might have 4 hearts and 4 spades, okay? So if the bidding goes like this, 1 no trump, 2 clubs, 2 hearts by the no trump person. And I then say 3 no trump. Hearts was not my suit, but I do have a game. So I said, okay, it wasn't hearts, but we do have a game. So I bid 3 no trump. If he had 4 hearts and 4 spades, he can now say 4 spades, because the fact that I asked the question when I bid 2 clubs, I promised I had a 4-card major suit. If hearts is not it, then spades must be it. So he said hearts, and I said, no, that's not it. And I bid 3 no trump. He now knows I've got 4 spades, and he, if he had hearts and spades, can go on to spades. So that's why this all works together. If partner bids 2 hearts, if the no trump person bids 2 hearts, you don't know whether he has hearts or hearts and spades. However, when you tell him hearts was not the right suit, if he has 4 spades, he now knows that you have 4 spades, 8 spades between you, 4 and 4. Does this make sense to everyone? Both of these kind of work together, transfers and Stayman, because both of them have that same kind of grid-like thing going on about how high and where. The how high is, if I'm 0 to 7, we don't have a game. 8 or 9, we might have a game, so I'm going to stay below game on my next bid. 10 or more, we have a game. I'm going to always bid the game. So that's the how high part. The where part depends on if I was transferring. Then with 6 or more, I bid the suit next. With 5 and 5 only, I bid no trump next. And with the Stayman convention, it's the same thing idea. If I know that we have 4-4 fit, I bid that suit next. If he has not told me of the 4-4 fit, I bid no trump next for the where. So the how high and the where questions are what we're always looking for over no trump. We're trying to see, can we get to a heart or spade contract? And if so, how high should it be? And where do we belong? No trump or that? And should it be a game or should it be below game? Or in the case of transfers, just pass after you transfer. Now, people kind of stop at the no trump responses because this seems like a lot that you have to remember. And it is a lot to put together, but you don't have to remember all of this at once. You just need to, when he's bid a no trump, you need to think, oh, okay, am I at game? Am I at below game? Am I going to invite him? And how many in a major suit do I have? If I don't have even 4 cards in a major suit, then I just bid 2 no trump with 8 or 9 points, 3 no trump with 10 or more, and pass with less than that. So if he bids 1 no trump, I could say 2 no trump with 8 or 9. I can say 3 no trump with 10 or more, or I could pass if I don't even have 8 points. That's if I don't have any major suit to look for. So that frequently happens. Also, I may have a lot of clubs or diamonds, and there is a way to transfer into clubs or diamonds. But if you transfer into clubs or diamonds, you transfer in at the 3 level. There are a lot of different ways to do it, but just in general, 2 spades tells them to bid clubs or maybe diamond. It depends on what your system is. But then the response is at the 3 level. So if I'm going to transfer to clubs or clubs or diamonds, I wind up at the 3 level. And if I've got a lot of clubs or diamonds, I would nearly always rather play no trump than try to go all the way up to 5 clubs or 5 diamonds. A good fit in clubs or diamonds is going to work, for getting tricks in no trump, just as it would if I was bidding clubs or diamonds. And if partners open to no trump, we know he's pretty balanced. So, I'm better off to try making, say, a 3 no trump bid than trying to play 5 clubs or 5 diamonds. So I say, do not plan on transferring to clubs or diamonds. You will hear people that do it. And after you're out playing for a while, people may teach you how to do the transfers to clubs or diamonds. But I say you can live a long and happy life without ever doing that. Okay. Sometimes you'll miss the best contract, but more often you'll get into a bad contract by transferring into a minor suit when you really shouldn't be doing that. I'd rather play no trump with a good minor suit than trying to go all the way up to 5 clubs or 5 diamonds. Sometimes I won't make it, but that's okay because we've all talked about what happens if you don't make your contract. You just go on to the next hand. That's what happens. Sometimes you won't make it. That's okay. That's not a problem.
I have a philosophical question.
Yes, ma'am.
So, I occasionally get to gamble and play blackjack, and they will let me have a little cheat sheet, a little piece of paper at the blackjack table that says, if the dealer has this, then you have this, do this. Why is it inappropriate at the bridge table that novices or anybody can't have a little cheat sheet?
Well, for novices, we do let you have a little cheat sheet. So, I think Charlene will in her 0 to 20 game. But in the other games, you're right, you can't. And the reason for that is because you're required to know this when you bid. You can't be looking at something and then picking something to bid, because the fact you're looking at that gives your partner information. When you're playing blackjack, it's just you against the dealer, and it's
Yeah,
actually not even the dealer, it's just the odds. The odds are the
it's just the
odds.
cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in bridge, it's real different because there is information you have that you'd like to transfer to your partner. And if you're looking at something to do that, then you are giving your partner and actually the other two people at the table some information about what you're looking for. So you are not allowed to use any memory aids when you play bridge. At the higher levels, actually at any level outside of the 0 to 20 game. And I'm not positive. Charlene may even really discourage you from using them in the 0 to 20 game. And the reason we discourage its use even in the lower levels is you need to get away from the cheat sheets as soon as you can. If you have those, you will rely on them, and
Yep.
you won't start putting it into your brain logically. You will spend time looking at the paper for the answer instead of moving the logical things that are on the paper into your brain to make decisions. So we do allow them. I think in the 0 to 20, Charlene allows them. And we definitely don't allow them in any of the others. People even do things like, you're not allowed to do things like, some people want to remind their partner if they're playing the hand, if they're on the board or in their hand. And so they'll, put their hand there. They'll do something as a regular reminder to their partner of where they are. You're not allowed to do that. You can tell your partner if he starts to do the wrong thing, but you can't have a constant reminder there of where he's supposed
Okay.
to be. You can't pull the card out. A lot of people, if the bid is, 4 hearts, they'll pull the 4 heart bidding card out and put it kind of sideways so they can be reminded the contract's 4 hearts. You can't even do that,
Hmm.
legitimately. Again, we don't, we don't try to be, hard asses about this in the lower level games, but upper level, like the 500 and above games, you definitely can't do any of that. So,
Okay,
Good
that makes
question.
sense.
That was a good question and an excellent answer. Thank you both.
Yeah.
all right, guys. Any other questions? If
Well,
not,
we can address this on Monday if you want.
okay.
So Cheryl has identified a third person kind of at our level to play bridge. Is there some way we can use the deck, the Audrey Grant deck and the book to play three-handed bridge?
Yeah, you can. And did you guys do you have, I've got some extra decks. I'll bring them tomorrow if you want to buy one from me, or you can buy them from Amazon or a place called Baron Barkley. But yes, you could do that. You would just you would need to kind of look at the book and see who the dummy is going to be, and let the dummy be the fourth person
Oh,
every
okay.
time. Go ahead and bid it as normal. And then, so that the rest of you can practice playing. So you just let the dummy be the fourth person, and the three of you play the other hands. But you can see from the book who that is, and using the cards, you can deal out the cards so they're sitting at the table in front of you, so you don't have to you're actually making decisions, not looking at the book while you're bidding. Same principle applies to that as applies to using cheat sheet things. Don't look at the book while you're doing this, because if
Yeah.
you're looking at the book, you're not making the decision. You're just reading and agreeing with what they did. And you think, oh, yeah, I get this. There's a difference between you deciding it
Cheryl,
yourself.
what do you think about that?
Huh?
I'm open to that.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
Okay.
you, Sally. It was
You bet.
very
Thank you,
helpful.
Sally.
Thanks, Sally.
See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Okay,
See you
thank you.
tomorrow. Bye now.